pour this on the spot there. Here. And then go upstairs and pour it on there. You and I have to close. Just pour it. It comes out really fast, so just cover it.
Hey.
Don't make me pull this trigger, mister.
Mr. Marston, let's get.
Come on!
Take it slow on the way out of town. No need to kick up a lot of dust. Ain't easy to find. So it's Fort Mercy you want to visit?
That's right.
Ain't taking nobody up to the fort in a long time. Strange place for a decent fella to want to visit, if you don't mind me saying.
Who said I was a decent fella?
It's been abandoned for years now. Folks say it was built during the Mexican War. Are you planning on spending any time in Armadillo, Mr. Marston?
I doubt it. I ain't planning on staying very long.
Well, if you're fixing for some female company, you can do a lot worse than Armadillo. Fine as cream gravy they are.
Come on! Let's go!
You ain't very talkative, are you?
Nope.
I'm just chewing the dog, mister. It's how I am. I don't mean nothing by it.
Trust me, there's things you're better off not knowing. Yeah.
much like no Blackwater fella.
That's because I ain't.
If I'm being honest, I don't care much for those highfalutin big city types. Not much at all.
Blackwater ain't much of a city. More of a town with illusions, but no, me neither.
A fella told me he was out in Blackwater a few months back and saw one of them newfangled carriages without horses.
Is that so?
And you wind 'em up like a top. Damnedest thing he ever saw without the aid of liquor, he told me.
Times are changing fast. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Let's go.
Now who's this friend you're looking for?
Nobody you need to concern yourself with.
Never you mind all my questions, Mr. Marston. I just reckon you might be barking at a knot heading for the port.
We'll see when we get there.
Well, I sure as hell ain't sticking around. Fort Mercer ain't no place for an old man like me to be a dawdling around.
Come on.
I'll tell you, Mr. Marston, those coyotes eat better than I do. Not far now. You'll see the fort when you get to the top of this hill. Giddy up.
Slow down.
Listen, mister. This here is what's left of Fort Mercer. Some gang rode in and took the place over.
So I understand.
This is where we part ways, friend. You have yourself a good time.
Getting this recommended, I kind of thought that would be awesome, though.
Little more detail, like how an incredible habit officer decomposed apologized to a particular poll worker for suggesting and implying that she was corruptly bringing in empty ballots to the Fulton County vote counting location. Knowing helixleague.com/event. Well, folks, you can see why. Little mix all these
Let's go.
Given the fact that that's all about quote-unquote election now, and Hillary Clinton, she denied election 2016, like, until today. I feel the sympathy for Trump the same as that you do, and I particularly feel that sympathy when you can feel Democrats trolling. Hillary Clinton was on with Rachel Maddow the other night, and she did a full-scale 2016 election denial routine. And this sort of stuff, that really gets to the goat of conservatives. And
Bill, I've come for you.
Middle finger. I totally get it. Here is Hillary Clinton last night.
Bill Williamson!
He certainly
Come out here right now!
interfered in our election, and it was clear he interfered
Go away
to hurt me
now,
and to help my
John.
opponent. Unprecedented
Don't make me
interference.
kill
I
you.
was on the
Nobody
radio
needs to kill anyone, Bill.
That Putin was intent upon helping Trump.
You must think I was born yesterday.
The
You always did think I was an
with the
idiot.
election. Virginia just stopped using
That ain't fair,
touchscreen
Bill.
computer voting because it's
You were as my
so
brother.
vulnerable. You
I'm
can
coming
run
to try
the
to
best
save you.
campaign. You could
Denial after election to denial after election
Oh.
now. Literally years on end.
Do I look like I need
No one
saving?
care about that. That was perfectly legitimate. Not only was it legitimate,
Bill,
they won
please.
1,000 legal
They wanna kill us
cases.
all.
And
I can
the
help you.
report was specifically based on the idea that Democrats could not.
You never tried to save me before.
There's a perfectly plausible solution.
You
to why
only
the
seemed
Republican Party
to save
was one of the
yourself.
worst candidates in American history. The proof is that you lost to Donald Trump.
Bill,
He was the second least
I
popular
implore you
candidate
think
in
about
America
this.
at that point. Hillary was the least popular.
You
Trump was the
implore
second
me?
least popular. That's-
You
That's how bad it
implore
was. But
me.
they decided instead, you must not applaud.
You always were one for
Investigation
fancy
Trump.
words.
Investigation based on specious nonsense. And now, of course, Trump is facing
Well, things are
serious
different.
charges across a wide range of jurisdictions, and those are going to bog him down for legitimately the entirety of the election cycle. I mean, when you look at the slate of cases that he is facing, it's going to be a full-scale disaster area for him. I mean, forget about whether he goes to jail or not. Just in terms of politics, just in terms of the money. Think about the legal bills. Here is his current calendar. Right now, here are the cases that are calendar. He has the Manhattan nonsense case about hush money payments to Stormy Daniels. That trial was scheduled to begin March 25th, 2024. Meanwhile, the classified documents case is slated to begin May 20th, 2023, right in the middle of the election cycle. We still don't have a date.
Mr. Marston, back in the land of the living, I see.
Regarding January
Figured it's
6th,
about time I started paying back that $15.
January 2nd.
Well, no time to waste. The horses are saddled up over here.
And Fannie Willis wants to launch her case, presumably, within 6 months of the indictment, she says, which could put it smack dab in February of 2024. So look at his calendar. That is a stacked 2024 calendar for the President of the United States. That is a calendar. Starts with a legal case in D.C. in January. A legal case
There's
in
the
Georgia
foreman's
in
office.
February.
It's also where we lock up good-for-nothing outlaws, such as yourself.
I'm happy enough with my current quarters right now, Miss McFarland.
Each one of those cases.
I picked out a fine horse for you.
Donald Trump is going to be consumed with it day and night. He's consumed with it right now, and they haven't even launched the
Come on,
trial.
time for you to see what a real ranch looks like.
Here's the question. What is the evidence of the supposed benefit? Again, you can have as much sympathy as you want for President Trump, and I feel a lot of sympathy. I just don't understand why that is the case for nominating him for the presidency, given the data that we do have. Hiring somebody doesn't really hard. It's exhausting, long, expensive. Thankfully,
Whoa!
it's on you.
To your right is the general store. You won't find Parisian high fashion, but it's good for the essentials.
Very convenient. I don't think I've ever seen a ranch with its own store before.
And every day, Zach really buzzing around like me in the studio, putting together the wires. For some reason, the wires just randomly come
And here's the corral. This one's for the horses. What do you think?
I'm no expert, but it certainly looks like a fine corral.
I suspect you've stolen little horses and you've broken.
Now, where'd you get such an idea?
First impressions are hard to erase. That's the train station. Things sure have changed since the line finally got finished, bringing in all sorts of new folk like yourself.
Is that such a bad thing?
Change is only good when it makes things better. You even know where you're going? And here we are, back at the house. Let's stop for a while before we head out on patrol.
You'll get no complaints from me, Miss McFarland.
That is ranked top 20 in the country. GCU is a mission Christ-centered university that tracks the prospect of community giving an impact. GCU's goal is to help you develop a servant leader who makes a difference in finding your purpose and fulfilling God's plan. With 330 academic programs and 270 online, as of June 2023, GCU integrates the free market system with a welcoming Christian worldview into your bachelor's, master's, or doctorate degree. Find your purpose.
How about a cold drink, Mr. Marston?
Thank you, ma'am. Getting shot, then riding a horse seems to take it out of you.
And it shows that Donald Trump is soaring.
Sure. Come on in. I'll show you the house and then you can sit for a while.
Thank you.
According to new polling from the 18th. That is up slightly from 55% who said the same in April, when Trump began facing a series of criminal charges. 7 in 10 Republicans now have a favorable
Mr. Marston.
Miss McFarland.
Remember me telling you about the trouble we've been having with rustlers and other undesirables?
I do.
Will you help me keep watch on the property line this evening?
Sure.
If Joe Biden were facing
I want to see just who is... Come on, then. Let's mount up and take a look.
But here is the problem. Once you get to the general election, the vote is not just a matter of getting out the base. The base isn't large enough for Donald Trump. The base for Donald Trump is maybe 40% of the population at its height. You can get all those people out to vote. They can only vote once. You're still going to need another 5 or 6% of voters, minimum, to even get you in competitive range. That's in competitive range in the Electoral College. He's at 46%, that is competitive in the Electoral College. To win, he really needs more like 48%. So where's that other 8% going to come from? It would have to theoretically come from independents or Democrats dissatisfied with Joe Biden. But here is the problem. Look at those poll numbers. 74% of Republicans say they would support him in November 2024. That number itself is crazy. That means a full quarter of Republicans would sit it out rather than vote for Trump in 2024. 53% of Americans say they would definitely not support him if he is the nominee.
Right. Follow me.
Which means the
Keep
election
your
is
eyes
over at
peeled
that
for
degree.
anything suspicious.
If a pure majority of Americans say they will never vote for you under any circumstances, how do you win? You can't lose 53%
Thank you, Mr. Marston. I feel a lot happier.
They probably
Along
would
with
not
you.
be working November.
I feel a lot happier now I got a rifle.
4% of Americans say that they certainly would not, probably would not vote for Donald Trump in November 2024. So what is the case that this is suddenly going to turn based on the indictment? And the more we talk about the indictment and the injustice of the indictment through, the more we talk about that, the more people will rally to Donald Trump's cause. That seems like echo chambers kind of stuff. And there's some people who are in my industry or they're bib to you and tell you, the more you talk about this, the more popular Donald Trump will become. I do not see the evidence of that. If that were the evidence, I would tell you. I promise you. Because I would like to see a Republican replace Joe Biden, and if that Republican is Donald Trump, that's fine. But the problem that I have is that I don't see that in the data. And I think it's very easy for people to blind themselves to reality because their feelings on these topics are so strong. By the way, this is going to have serious down-ballot effects, too. And lest we forget, Donald Trump didn't just lose the 2020 election. He also led to additional losses in places like Georgia in 2021. Georgia is a red state. It is a red state. How do I know? Because Brian Kemp crushed Stacey Abrams in his last gubernatorial run. The legislature in Georgia is red. And yet it has 2 Democratic senators. Why? Because Donald Trump was a drag on the senatorial ballot. He was a massive drag, not just in 2021, but also in 2022. When he handpicked Herschel Walker, and then Herschel Walker ran basically on 2020. And it turns out people don't like that sort of stuff. It also turns out that the people of Georgia are not particularly interested in hearing that the election was stolen and that they don't know how to run an election in Georgia. So I understand why people are angry at Mike Pence because they believe that Pence should be standing stronger with Trump against legal indictments. I also understand Mike Pence's view on some of this stuff, which is, well, I was the one that Donald Trump was saying could stop the election from actually being certified, which is false. And then people were threatening to kill me, so I'm not super hot on
It
that.
ain't never easy living
But when
off the
Mike
land
Pence says
like
the
this.
Georgia election was
Maybe you
not
should move
stolen,
to a big city. Become a lady
he
of
happens to
leisure.
be correct. The evidence is not there. And Donald Trump says he's going to present a slate of new evidence on Monday. Now, as I think, I don't think he actually is going to present a slate of brand new evidence that totally shakes things up. I think he's going to present an awful lot of speculation and rewarmed, sort of microwavable leftovers that have already been examined. None of these things have been filed in court. What that really is more about is establishing that he doesn't have requisite intent to commit the crime that he is being charged with in the state of Georgia. He's going to say, I legitimately believed I was deprived of the election, even if I'm wrong. That's what I legitimately believe. That's really what Monday, I think, it's more about. Suffice to say, I'm not sure that you can win Georgia as a presidential candidate after saying over and over and over that every election in the state of Georgia is rigged against you. And ripping on the popular governor of the state of Georgia in the process, trying to primary him with David Perdue, who then got wiped out by like 40 points in the primaries. Are you tired of the lies and the twists of mainstream media talking points? Yeah, me too. Join me in my newest series, Facts, where I dismantle and bring truth to this entire mainstream agenda.
Come on.
We didn't even lose any chickens.
Could start as soon as March.
Well, folks, you remember that time when we were told that
No, you can actually handle a rifle.
It's something I've had a little experience in.
Maybe Bill Williamson did get lucky after all.
Luck didn't really come into it, miss.
You're a useful man to have around the ranch, that's for sure. But don't think I've forgotten what brought you here. We'll do whatever we can to help you.
I sure appreciate that, Miss McFarland.
The Department of Children and Families decision to deny Michael and his birth foster care application comes less than a decade after the Supreme Court's ruling in O'Byrne v. Hodge, which of course suggests that same-sex marriage is enshrined in the Constitution of the United States. In a dissent,
Here we are.
Justice Alito raised a red flag, saying that basically this is going to be used to vilify all Americans who don't buy into the new orthodoxy. He says, quote,
Thank you for your help, Mr. Marston. Makes me kind of happy I saved your life.
treatment for African Americans and women. The implications of this knowledge will be exploited by those who are determined to stand up every vestige of dissent. The Burkes are a loving couple who sought to adopt through the state foster care program. Burke, Mr. Burke, deployed to Iraq as a Marine. Mrs. Burke is a former paraprofessional for kids with special needs. Which is like a pretty good background for kids, for parents who want foster care. They're willing to accept children of any race, culture, or ethnicity, as well as some special needs. They would even take siblings. The state denied them. Why? Because it says that Katie and Mike are devout Roman Catholic and not only attend church with regular frequency, they both work at the local churches as musicians. This meant they could not be trusted with children. The author of their license study said, they are lovely people, But she said that Bacon is not supportive, and neither are her neighbors regarding LGBT issues. Ultimately, licensed review team concluded the Burks, quote, would not be affirming to a child identified as LGBT